for Victim Research Ask Me Anything live session. Today we'll be talking about the CVR Library research tools and instruments. Start with a few introductory comments. The Center for Victim Research is funded through an Office for Victims of Crime grant, but everything presented here today is my opinion. And speaking of my opinion, my name is Laura Pulse, and I'm the research librarian on the Center for Victim Research project. September is Library Card Sign-Up Month, and so I hope that you will register to use the CVR Library full collection. Right on this page, we have the URL where you can register, and registration provides you with no-cost access to journals like the ones listed on this slide. Just visit victimresearch.org to register, and if you have any questions, just let me know, and we can get you all set up. Even if you don't register, though, you can still use CVR Library's public collection, and that collection includes more than 1,400 free materials, all of which we've cataloged and tagged so that you have one place that you can find research that's relevant to victim services. Today we'll be focusing on one of CVR's public collections, and this is our public collection of open access instruments. I'll start with a demo of our new Collecting Data page, and then demonstrate a couple searches of that open instrument collection. These Ask Me Anything sessions, I want you to really get a lot of great tips for getting the most out of our library collections. We'll also look at some special features of this specific collection, the instrument cover pages. And at the end, of course, we'll have time for questions. And there's that chat box on the right-hand side of the screen. Make sure that you have Send To selected to all attendees so that my colleagues Casey and Bailey will be able to make sure that we don't miss any questions. You can ask questions throughout the whole session, but we'll just make sure at the end to have some dedicated time. And Bailey is actually one of the CVR members who created this open access instrument collection. So I'll be asking her to chime in to make sure that I'm describing everything that we're talking about accurately. Okay, now we're going to go to the live website. And okay, hopefully let's bring it up. All right, so now I'm on victimresearch.org, and you can navigate to the Open Access Instrument Collection by selecting Tools from our top menu, and then Collecting Data. This is one of our newest pages. We're very excited to launch it. This homepage just gives you a background on some different reasons you might want to collect data, some challenges that there are, different tools for actually collecting and getting the information that you're trying to get. And we start with, like I said, a little introduction, and then under these menus, we have some additional tools that are produced by other organizations that can really help you walk through creating the text for your questions, understanding effective methods for gathering information from people, getting started on a community needs assessment, and also developing a logic model so that you can understand the processes that your workplace is doing and how those practices, what impacts they create. The Collecting Data page also includes this section, which talks about some national sources of data on crime victims and victimization. It describes what you would find in the in these different websites, as well as some challenges or things that they don't tell you, which is always good to know what the data is actually telling you. And then here at the bottom is where we have the search box for the instrument collection. And you might be wondering if you hadn't heard of this process before, you might be wondering why CVR started an instrument collection. And we heard when we've been exhibiting and before CVR even existed, some different research efforts let us know that victim service providers wanted to measure community needs and victim satisfaction with local services. By measuring these things, data can tell us a lot of information. It can let us know if our programs are reaching the community members that we want to reach and if we're actually accomplishing our mission. Data can let us know if we're on track or if there are areas that we need to change course. And in addition, local data can be really useful for demonstrating the impact of the program. That's why, those are some reasons that people might want to create original survey instruments. But as you probably are aware, collecting data is not always easy. It can be difficult to find the money or the time or expertise to actually come up with an effective survey. I know sometimes I've taken surveys where I'll see a question and I just don't understand what they're trying to get at, what they actually want me to answer. And so I'm sure any response that I've given to those surveys has not really helped people measure what they want to understand. Also, if there are some existing research tools that people have come across, those often cost money and specialized training to use. But fortunately, there have been some different victim service providers and researchers who've already created research instruments. These research instruments collect data on topics that would be relevant to multiple programs, not just the original creators of those programs. So there's just no need to reinvent the wheel. If somebody's already created a useful instrument, it can be really helpful just to have that guidelines as you create your own survey, questionnaire, logic model. And the instruments that we're going to talk about today are just some examples that can help you develop relevant tools that mean something for your community. And so CVR created this collection because one of our goals is to make any resources that are related to research and victim services a lot easier to find and use. So this collection right here provides you a single search box to locate those existing survey tools, focus group protocols, logic models, and a couple other tools. So just to get a sense of what we have in here, I'll start with a very simple search. So I just searched instruments, and this lets you see the variety of tools that we have available. So these kinds of instruments, the survey questions, focus group protocols, they can help you measure victimization, measure community and victim needs. You can measure satisfaction with victim services and victim outcomes. You can see in this area, the subjects are giving you a little preview about what each tool includes. We're also collecting logic models from various program types. So let me limit the search to that. So we're still building this. So if your program has a logic model or any other instrument, please let us know, and we'd love to review it and include it in this collection so other people can find it and make use of it. So a logic model, if people don't know, a logic model is a visual roadmap of what a program or project is intended to achieve and how that program is expected to work. A logic model can help us understand the data that we need to collect. So it's a really good starting point. For any of these tools, if you click on the title, it will bring you to a page that just gives you a little bit more information about where that instrument came from, as well as all these subject terms, which you can click to and see other resources in our collection that have that same subject. I'm going to go back. Let me pull up. Like I said, you can click the title if you just want more information. If you want to actually access the full instrument itself, you can click View Document. And this brings you to the cover page that the developers of that instrument filled out. And these cover pages give you a lot of background and let you know what was the intended purpose of this tool. And I wanted to make sure to give Bailey a chance to chime in. Bailey, are there other things that you would like people to know about these cover pages?
Sure, yeah. So we see these cover pages as being a great benefit for researchers and practitioners looking at these instruments. So we reach out directly to the individual or individuals who developed the tool because we want to hear from them the valuable information that they feel should be shared with their instrument. So, you know, if you were searching the web for an instrument like this, you might find just the tool. You might find it buried in an appendix. The information that we're including in these cover pages may be somewhere in that information, but it might require some searching or maybe in a different location. So we hope that putting this information right up front as soon as you're directed to the instrument will help you quickly determine if this is going to be a tool that's useful for your work, because understanding the background of an instrument and what it's designed to measure is really important. It's an important step to figuring out if this is going to be something that's fitting for your work.
Great, thank you, Bailey. Yeah, I'm really excited by this cover page too. I know that you and Suzanne have put in a lot of work collecting this information so it can be as valuable as possible. All right, now I'd love to just demonstrate a couple different searches on a variety of topics so people get a sense of the different types of tools that are in here. So I'm going to start back from the home page here of our instrument collection. So you can really start just searching as broadly as you like. You saw when I just typed in instruments so I could see as many instruments that we have available at this time. You can also search by topic. So you can search bullying and see what we have related to bullying. So a lot of different survey texts, different kinds of bullying too. Another value that we've added to these tools is adding a lot of different subjects that include variations on the words. So you get the synonyms. So even if you type bullying, you should get like online harassment as well if we're talking about cyberbullying. Another topic, and let me show you two. One format that I like a little bit better for the library searches, I click Advanced Search, which is under the main search bar. And then I have a couple different lines, and this allows me to combine different topics. So this default is just making sure to limit our search to the instrument collection. So if I just searched bullying, we can also search for fraud as another example for a topic. And then hit search. You're able to see what we have available on that topic. You're also able to search by the population that the survey or focus group was intended to be used with. And you can do that by searching population, colon, and then the name of the population. So, for example, there are a lot of survey and focus groups with practitioners, as sometimes it's just impractical to actually survey victims directly. So let's hit search and see what we get there. Great. Another couple different tools. And another thing I'm excited about from this instrument collection, we're not only looking at victimization, victim outcomes, victim satisfaction, but we do have a couple tools related to institutional evaluation. So if you want to study what's going on in your program and staff outcomes, we have a few instruments on that as well. And I'll share a tip sheet in a few minutes, just showing what a lot of these different search terms are, so you can use them on your own. You can also search by what you're actually trying, or what the creators of the tool were trying to measure, by searching measuring and victim satisfaction, for example. Oh, Let me see. Well, sometimes the search likes to play tricks on you. I'll remove the measuring for right now. Let's see. Okay, that at least got us some results. It's also a good demonstration. You know, if you don't get results for something, you can just change a couple terms and try and broaden it some more. Sometimes these search engines are very touchy. You're also welcome to reach out to me, and I can troubleshoot with you as well. So we have some surveys measuring victim satisfaction. And you also can combine terms. So let's say that we were looking for survey and bullying. This "and" here lets the database know that I want both this term and this term to show up. If whatever record doesn't include both of them, I don't want to see it. I'll hit search. So now we're looking at records that include both the term survey and the term bullying. And eventually, we're planning to add a couple starter searches below our instrument collection search box. So some of these advanced searches, like combining multiple terms, will be available to you with just a click. But that's a future development, so I just wanted to show you how to do that right now. And if you're curious about more of those advanced search tips, our library page has different advanced search tutorials. I really recommend this one that's right here on the right, which gives you a really good base on all of these great tips and tricks to get even better results. And the one last thing I wanted to point out on this collecting data page is that if you are aware of any instruments or helped develop some instruments, we'd love to add it review it and add it to our collection. So from this page, there's a contact us, and then there's that cover page that you can fill out. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and switch back. Okay, so some of these searches that I just demonstrated, I wanted to also make sure that you have access to what the subject terms or tags that we use to catalog our records. So this tip sheet, which will go out after our recording goes out, we'll just let you know, get you a little fast track on there. So it lets you see what are the types of instruments that you can look up, the types of populations, and then some of the topics as well. There's 2 pages in the full tip sheet, but this just gives you a really good starting point. So those are the main things that I wanted to demonstrate. I'd love to answer any questions if people have them, either about our instrument collection or other aspects of the website, other aspects of the CVR library. I really hope this demonstration got you some good ideas for how you can use these tools for building your own programs. I'll wait a couple minutes and we'll just, be watching that chat box.
And I'll just quickly mention too, Laura, you had mentioned this as well, but if any of you have trouble finding what you're looking for, or something's not showing up for you, just let us know and we can get you that instrument, or we can try to help you find one. So what we have in our collection are ones where we've been able to put together the cover page and have received permission from the authors, but we do have a much longer list of ones that we're still actively pursuing, and they're all open access, so we could certainly point you to those if it's not something that's currently in our collection.
That's a really good point, yeah. So while we're waiting for questions, I did want to remind people that this is just the first of 3 Ask Me Anything sessions that we're holding in September. Next Thursday and Friday, we'll have more 30-minute quick demos. So next Thursday, let me make sure that I have all the information correct before I pull it up. If you registered for this session, you should get, you should have the calendar reminders for those. So next Thursday, we're having, so next Thursday, sorry, I thought I had that right there. So next Thursday, on September 12th at 12:30, we're going to be having another demonstration. This one talking about the CVR library and the differences between the public collection, so all the open access materials, and the full collection, which are all the subscription materials. So if you haven't registered yet for CVR's library, I recommend registering before the session, or maybe the session will get you really excited to dig into all those journals. So that's Thursday, September 12th at 12:30. And then our final 3rd session will be Friday, September 13th at 2 p.m. And that will talk about using the CVR library to find research to practice collaborations and other tools to identify research partners and learn from existing collaborations. So in a follow-up to this session, hopefully we'll also send information about those. Oh, great. I'm glad it was helpful. Yeah, if there are no other questions right now, you can reach out to me at librarian@victimresearch.org. That email address just lets me know, gives me an alert when you have a question. I can send you any particular articles you're looking for, or make sure that you and Bailey can get connected to find existing instruments. So I think with that, we can close the session. Thank you everybody so much for joining in, and I hope you have a great weekend and are able to start collecting some data.